Welcome, everybody. Appreciate the time with you today. As Chris mentioned, I'm Kristen May. I am the Chief Commercial Operations Officer for VYV. So who is VYV? VYV is a New York-based health tech company that was founded in 2013, dedicated to harnessing the power of light to continuously clean and protect the spaces that matter most to the industries that we serve. You might be thinking, why are we talking about cleaning when this is supposed to be an educational session on the latest and greatest in lighting? Well, the reason is that germs are winning and light can be a very powerful tool in reversing this globally concerning trend. Did you know that the World Health Organization and the CDC predicted over 5 years ago that by 2050, superbugs would be more deadly than cancer? Or that in the last 13 years plus, we have only had a couple of new antibiotics introduced and approved by the FDA to be able to help treat us when we're sick. Or that our existing cleaning practices are only 32% effective because they're point in time or periodic in nature. Can any of us forget what happened 2 years ago when infants could not be fed because of an outbreak with contaminated formula? Have any of us ever lost a loved one to an infection or been seriously ill after going into the hospital to get better? Well, these are all of the reasons that we are talking about cleaning with light. And more specifically, having a new tool in our arsenal that allows us to offer our clients continuous protection. VYV is the creator of a category of germicidal white light that is non-ultraviolet and highly effective at killing all of those germs that keep us up at night and wreak havoc on our customers and their operations. So what are we referring to when we say non-UV? VYV utilizes a portion of the visible light spectrum that has been long known by the scientific community to be antimicrobial, specifically between 400 to 420 nanometers, with a peak at 405 nanometers. What is fantastic about this portion of the light spectrum is that it is tested to international photobiological safety standards and is certified for continuous and unrestricted use around people. So said simply, use of 405 nanometers carries no exposure concerns or limits. So what VYV did is put this into practical application by designing proprietary LED technology that can both illuminate and kill bacteria at the same time. And we put our proprietary LEDs into beautiful, high-quality light fixtures to be able to offer to the marketplace a full portfolio of antimicrobial overhead luminaires. And in this picture, you're seeing examples of both of our modes of operation, which we're going to dive a bit deeper into now. Our luminaires have 2 modes of operations, as just mentioned. And both of these modes of operation use 2 discrete and distinct proprietary LEDs. So we're going to spend a minute or two on this slide just to make sure that we're all clear on what's going on with these 2 modes. Because a lot of times people will look at the enhanced antimicrobial mode, the one that appears violet in nature, and immediately think, oh, that's ultraviolet. I can't be under that. That's not safe for me. But that's incorrect. So in both of our LEDs, which are proprietary to us, there is nobody else in the world that emits 405 nanometer light out of single diode packages. So staying with the enhanced antimicrobial mode, which is violet in nature, depending on how you see the color, or like an indigo or blue type of color. This mode of operation in our discrete and proprietary LED emits purely, it puts all of the energy into that wavelength band that I mentioned between 400 to 420 nanometers. And you can see that on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll see where it's pointing out the antimicrobial wavelength range, as well as specifically the portion that our enhanced antimicrobial LED is using. Then we have a second discrete, distinct, operates on its own LED that is emitting 405 nanometer light, that same band of light between 400 to 420 nanometers with the peak at 405. But we're adding in some of the other colors through a phosphor conversion to create a beautiful high quality white light. So if you think back to the very first two slides that I shared with you, and the problem around the fact that our cleaning, our existing disinfection practices, our existing cleaning tools are only 32% effective because they're point in time. We take Clorox, we wipe down a desk, but then we start using that desk and microbes are redeposited and they're really smart. They replicate and grow and they're gross. So one organism at the beginning of the day is 2 million by the end of the day. So with continuous antimicrobial action and with these two discrete LEDs, what we're able to do is when illumination is not needed, we put all of the energy into that antimicrobial band and we emit it in more of that violet light. When illumination is needed, we switch on to the other LED. The enhanced goes off, the white antimicrobial comes on, and it's emitting 405 nanometers at a little less intensity because we're sharing it with the ability to illuminate. Both modes kill the same amount of germs. One just goes a little bit faster than the other. The continuous platform comes in because instead of turning the lights off, your customers then have the ability to switch into the enhanced antimicrobial mode. So we don't have a big bright white light blaring at all times. If we don't need it, then we're still dosing the space and helping to kill off any of those germs in the area. So we talked a little bit about the fact that this portion of the light spectrum, this portion of the visible light spectrum, where the antimicrobial properties are between 400 and 420 nanometers, meet international standards for continuous and unrestricted use around people. So when you think your regulatory bodies, this is your UL, your ETL, your CE. That's the regulatory body that looks at the safety of lamp systems. So we're regulated by them. We're tested to those standards. We're approved for continuous and unrestricted use. Then on the antimicrobial side of things, we're regulated by even more groups. In the United States, we're regulated by the EPA. And in Canada, we're regulated by Health Canada and specifically the Pest Management Regulatory Authority, which is under Health Canada. And these groups, whether it is a pesticide, a chemical, or a light-based technology such as ours, they regulate that full category of antimicrobial solutions and tools. What's really important, and the Max 2 team can provide follow-up information on this, as can my team, but VYV is currently the only registered germicidal 405 nanometer technology in Canada. And that's a really important distinction and a really important approval to us that we gained, and we invested over 2.5 years to be able to sell into Canada with the necessary approvals. It's a very rigorous process. You need extensive data supporting that your technology is delivering this antimicrobial benefit. And if other organizations are selling 405 nanometer products into the country, they do not have the necessary approvals in place, and that can be detrimental to all parties involved. Further demonstrating, this is our this is our label. So all of our products sold into Canada are required to have this label, which gives our registration number, has our claim set, and shows that we are complying with the laws. So back to where do we use this fantastic technology? We now have a white light that can illuminate and kill germs for us. Well, I always say, look at the left-hand side of the screen. I won't go over all of the industries because so many industries benefit. Chris will share this with you after, but think high traffic spaces, high touch environments, high risk environments and populations, areas where it's hard to get in and clean. Well, all of a sudden you have a light that can help you at least control organisms so that your time can be spent more productively, just making sure that the space is visually clean. We have a full portfolio. We have over 100 different SKUs in terms of the different types of light fixtures that we deliver to the marketplace to provide this benefit. We're going to spend the last few minutes of our time today on a handful of those. And two of my team members are on the line and are able to help during Q&A and answering any specific questions that you have on some of the feature functionality of our fixtures. But let's start with just more of our general area, general application, commercial luminaires. So on the screen are two examples of our recessed troffers. The VSRH is more of your general use when you do not have any rating requirements, any need for wet ratings or otherwise. The one on the right, our VSRW, this is our wet rated troffer. It is an enclosed and gasketed luminaire. Some of the dimensions are shared on the screen. All of our spec sheets are available up on our website as well. They have various lumen outputs, color temperatures, and that's true for all of the products that you're going to see here over the next couple of minutes. We also, bread and butter for us is healthcare and life sciences, food processing. And so we have a full portfolio of clean room, both surface mounted and recessed type fixtures and or surgical grade recessed fixtures. These are ones that are coming with the IP ratings, the ISO ratings, MIL standard, NSF ratings. They are sealed, they're gasketed, again, depending on the feature functionality that you are looking for. Extremely high quality, high grade, high abuse, vandal resistant type of products within our healthcare clean room surgical portfolio. We also have downlights, recessed downlights. This is highlighting some of the different shapes and sizes that we have. Again, all are available up on our website. They are wet location rated upon request or if needed. And within the next few weeks, we will be releasing the specification around a new downlight, which does have an extended feature set that will match more closely to our healthcare surgical clean room fixtures. So that IP65 ISO standard MIL. And it will be available in Canada first. So in closing, let's talk just for a minute or two on the fact that all white light is not created equal. What you're looking at here is a map of the visible light spectrum, or ANSI standards if you've ever heard of them. And this is really looking at the quality of that white light. And to be able to truly get high quality white light, the only way to accomplish that is out of a single LED package. There are others in the marketplace. And when we started as a company, we color mixed. We did what is in the middle panel of this slide. And we advanced that to be able to emit 405 nanometer out of a single package in a high quality white light. Others in the marketplace that do not have access to our intellectual property or our hardware, our proprietary hardware, their only option is color mixing. And what that means, this is a visual to give you an idea of the difference in the color quality. So if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, the first picture that you're looking at is one of our 4000K fixtures. You can see it's a pure white light. Competitors that are trying to follow in our footsteps are color mixing, and you can see the white light. They're taking a standard non-antimicrobial white LED and they're turning it on at the same time as 405 nanometers. And what happens is fluorescing. Also, critically important trade-off is they do not have as high of an irradiance, which is a measure of that antimicrobial output. Said simply, their products don't kill germs as fast as ours do. Your clients appreciate this. They have lots of reasons to need this technology. They will clearly articulate those to you as you work with them and educate on the option to have this in the marketplace. But also, this is a huge, huge tool in instilling public confidence. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we'll open it up for any questions. These are just a few more kind of bullets in the background about our company.